There we go. Maybe we can see if we can get this working. Maybe there seems to be some delay. There we go. Oh, we're online. Hey everyone, how you doing? Yeah, I'm just gonna post on Twitter also. There we go. Use my own sound also, maybe. Yeah, there we go. So, I'm thinking of making a design for the history page. So, this is what I have so far. And we're actually going to look at how we can create this. Let's see if I can scroll down. We're going to see how we can create this more of a custom designed expansion tile. So instead of this normal list tile, we're going to create this more dynamic one, I guess. I have no idea how to create this, but maybe we will do it a lazy way. Really depends. So for now, I just have this dark page. Maybe we can clean this up a bit. A scaffold. And just a app bar. Get somebody. And a... Looks like we have... Maybe we want the whole page to be a list view, and then this to be a list view builder, maybe. That makes probably most sense. Or we could do a column, and then we can make this one a scrollable list view inside here. Let's make the whole page... Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Hi, João Pedro Aque Virgili. How you doing? How's your day been? Let's see. Thanks for the subscription, Jafar. How's your day been? Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do? So first off, we can create a list view. So with the list view, we have some children. We can start off by creating just a title text. Hey, Ampersanda, how are you doing? What are we going to do more? We're going to have a center text with then a row and 2 equally spaced text. So that should be a easy task, hopefully. So this is just because we have a normal text, so this is complaint because we're not using a constant, I think. If I would write constant here, that would fix everything, but we're not going to use a constant because this is going to change. Awesome, JP. So we're going to get some data. I'm doing fine. Day before Christmas here. That would be fine. So let's see where I'm gonna actually get the data. Hey Ahmad. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. You can correct me if you want to. So I think I will probably just create some fake data for this page right now because I haven't implemented everything for my block to fetch yet. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. So what I'm actually going to do later is probably have a separate block for this page. And if you want to, you can suggest if we want maybe we can create another live stream for creating the block later. But right now I don't have all the methods in the backend to create that. So we will just use some sample data I will create just for this page so we can get all the functionality working, right? So we're going to have a bold title and then a row. So maybe we can make this. This will complain also. That's a bit annoying. Well, I will create a text like that. We'll add some styling. Style. Take the theme, and I will just take a primary text theme. And then not really. I really want to use a. No, we didn't have that. I really don't want to use that small of a width and colors to black. So what I'm thinking of, I don't like this small title actually. I think this should be, it should describe where we are at, right? So first off, we can make a final theme. Use that instead. And we can add some trailing commas. And the title should be productivity history. Maybe this is a bit too large. What did we have more? Title. Maybe we should just use a title and make it bold. So font weight, what's the right name? There we go. Now we have the title. We should add probably a size box with a bit of pixels. Size box, height, and remove the trailing comma and set something like 18. This one can be a constant. There we go. So for the next thing, maybe we can extract this to a method. So build title. And I like to have my methods above my build. And we need to have our override. There we go. So there we have our build title, or yeah, build title. And so let's see. Should be able to use a stateless widget for this. So we are going to build our row. Some children. So the children will be 2 text fields. Yeah, so align is pretty much its. Let's see if here how we can explain it. Probably they have a better explanation for it. So we can align it to wherever we want. So the align have a property. So we can take the alignment. And then we can align it to somewhere in the application. I don't remember completely off. We can see that it defaults alignment.center, and we want it into the center, so that's what we did. So that's just, it would be the same to do align and center, but we can completely remove that as it defaults to this. And that's just a way to put it in the center if we are building inside a list view. Because I don't think for a column you could have cross-axis center or something like that, I think. I don't think we have that in a list view. So that's why we did it. So for the children here, great. I'm using Align all the time. I think it's a great widget, making things so much easier to place everything. So we're going to have two widgets. So for the first one, if we look here, you can see that we have a text and another text. Let's create a row. We can create two text widgets fast. Let's just say the 15 tasks. And another one which says 200 hours. I'm going to have some trailing commas. So as they are placed in that way, we're going to set the main axis alignment. And we can set to space evenly. Yeah, we can get to space evenly to get this same layout that we want here. But as we can see, we also have some spacing between here, and these two seems like they are they bold or just the color of black? I don't think they should be as primary though, so they can be in that gray color. But we can set, let's just make it a constant here. And we're going to set a size box here. And we can set the height to something like, ooh, what was it? 12 maybe? And that will be a constant as well. So there we go. There we have a good enough representation. So what we could do now is extract this method as well, build row. Yeah, that should be a good enough name. We put that below this method. Merry Christmas, Tunch. Yeah, I will make this a video also later, so you can watch it and follow along if you want to. The other one, or the other live stream was very appreciated, so I'm trying to make this a bit faster and more concise, because the other one got a little bit of, a lot of white spacing in between, where I was just thinking and trying to figure out what I was gonna do. But I got quite a bit better idea on what I will do on this stream. So there probably won't be that much of a difference actually. It constantly used a way of saying that this won't change at all. And that would make it probably a bit faster. But I can't confirm that. I haven't actually tested it. I'm just having this, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this analysis options, which says that is this one constant? Don't remember which one. Which just tells me that I need to have a constant or else I get an error. So that's just for me to be more concise with what I'm writing. As I'm working with this application with my brother, a normal thing that happens is that we write code in our ways. So this will just make it so that we can write it in the exact same manner. So right now we have the build row. So for the next one, we will probably just make this a stateful widget so I can put some fake data in here. We can see that we have this custom card, right? And if we press this card, it will expand to show more details. So these are tasks, and these are all completed tasks. And if we expand them, we can see all the dates we pressed play and pause. So that is all implemented and will be added to the database, but I just can't fetch that right now because I don't have any method for them. So what we will actually do is that we'll probably convert this to a stateful widget just to have some fake data to work with, or a fake list to work with. So let's do that. Convert to a stateful widget. Remove the new keyword. So we can have some data, right? And we need to refresh or hot restart this. There we go. So there we have our page. So here we can define some fake items. So what we want to have is a task view. I think it's called. Don't remember. Yeah, a task view. Or a list of task view we want actually. Task views. And do I have a constructor? .simple. What does the simple do? Doesn't actually do anything. I haven't created that one, so I don't know. What did I have more? Didn't have a normal constructor. And this one takes all of these values. So I will just make a temporary. Oh, what I actually forgot to do also. Let's do this. Actually git add working on history page. We will actually create a new branch because I'm in the develop branch now. Doesn't really matter that much, but I want to make it a bit more clear. So if I remember, we're going to first check what branches I have. So I have the naming convention of writing pages before the actual branch name. So let's create a git checkout. B for creating one, I think it was. And it will be in quotation marks. I think it is. So pages, history, page. Yeah, clear. There we go. So now we can go back to this one. So what I want to do in the task view is that I just want to make a constructor that will just create a like fake task, something like that, so that we can use for creating our application. So we are going to set the name. What are we actually going to use on this page? I will only create the ones that's necessary. So we can see that we have a name. We don't care about that for now. Log time, don't care about that. Yeah, we just want a maybe we can just maybe we should not create this. We will instead oh, that's late, man. Not as late here. It's only 5 PM. Okay, so actually what I will do is I will just make a so a list have let's see if I can show this before I use it actually. So if I call list, it actually has a generate function, so I can generate a list of a specific size with just some ints. And we will do that instead for for these pages or these ones. So to create this, let's create a list view. So with this list view, we'll just first off display some expansion tiles. So inside this list view, we're actually going to create another list view. And yeah, we're going to create another list view. And for the children, we're not going to do that. We're going to use the list.generate method. And we're going to have a length. Let's see if I remember how to write this. So it needs a length and then, okay. So let's just create 2 items for now. And we are in need of the index. Let's open that up. No, not that. There we go. So here we have a list view which will have 2 items, but we're not returning anything in the items right now. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way, Ampersanda. I think I forgot to say that. Happy Hanukkah. Maybe we can probably also do some votes for the time and the time and day for live streams. It's just that Sunday was pretty much only day that I had time this week. And I just thought of starting the live stream the same as before. So what we're going to actually do is to see if it works. We're going to just return a text of the index.toString. Just to see if it works, right? So right now, it's probably not working because we have a list view inside the list view, but we'll try anyway. It should generate some errors. If it does. Yeah, we got some errors, or a lot of errors. So this is because a list view is scrollable, or the list view is growable, and it takes as much space as it can. And it's inside another list view, so the height will become infinite. So what we'll actually do is that this one will not become scrollable, and this will just be completely expanded inside this list view. So we have a couple of ways to do this, or one way. So we're going to set the physics of this scroll view to never scrollable physics. And we're setting that to const. And we are going to set shrink wrap to true. I think it was. There we go. There we have our 0 and 1. So what we can actually return here instead is a expansion tile. I think it was. Yeah, so expansion tile requires a title. So the title will just be the index right now, and it also requires a text. So now we have expansion tiles, but they don't have any actual values inside it. So what the expansion tiles also takes is children. And what we're actually going to do is that we check the design again. We can see that I have all of these date values, right? Or date text. I will actually just create the same one for all of them. So we'll create 2 text fields. And I will just write them out for now. 2018. Like that, and we can create another one. This one will actually be a constant for now. and this one will be 10. So if we actually check this now, both of these should have the same values inside. We actually don't care about the actual value for now. We're just caring about how we can actually do this design, right? So we have, as this is an expansion tile, we can check actually inside the expansion tile. It only takes this, right? So what I'm thinking of is that we're going to actually replicate this expansion tile, but we're going to make this custom. So there's a few ways we can do this. We can create our own completely from scratch, but I'm really lazy, so we're actually going to copy this and create our own custom expansion tile. So right now I copied it, and we're going to create, I could make it a widget that we're going to use over the whole application, but I don't, for now I'll just put it in a widgets in the history folder. So let's create some widgets inside here. New file, custom expansion tile.dart. And we'll just paste everything in there. And we're going to import the required so let's go to this one, right? So let's see. I don't actually know what it wants to. We will not care for that for now. Separate the control structure. Oh, okay. Doesn't really matter for now. We'll use it anyway. So if we check the let's see, the UI which it returns, build children, we can see that it returns a container which has a column, and then it's a list tile. And what we don't actually want is a list tile, but we will start off by using this. We're actually going to rename this first. So as this is called expansion tile, we want to rename symbol and just give it a custom expansion tile. And we save that, go to our page, we give it custom expansion tile. So we can start to change this a bit. So if we go to the UI, we can do some things, right? So the first thing is we can, don't really remember if it was this. Let's just try and wrap this in a widget, see what happens. Yeah, that works. Oh, they actually have some, add some borders when we expand it. Okay, but that looks good. Okay, maybe we don't need that in a card, but we can have that anyway. So what we're going to do now, we check the design. We actually want to move this down button, right? We don't want it in the right, and right now we can press on this whole page or this whole card, and we want that, don't want that either. We want to have this specific button, and that should be pressed, and it should expand. So we can actually do that, right? We can remove the list tile. The list tile is just a widget that has this specific design pattern, or this specific design, and we don't want that because it makes it really hard to make a custom design. So what I will actually do first is that I will maybe I will just, yeah, I will just comment this out first. And we can make our own child, which will be they have a list tile. We'll do a column. I think should be it. Yeah, we should. Yeah, a column. So there we have a column, and the column requires something, right? We're going to need a title. And if we just take this text right here, this one, I think. Let's see what we actually get. Yeah, we're getting the title. Right now it's not pressable because we haven't implemented the on tap. What we're going to do more. So we have the trailer, which is the icon. We can copy that. And we can, for now, just, it wasn't this one. Trailing widget trailing. Let's just take this for now. Did we use that? Oh, now I feel pretty stupid. We're actually inside the wrong place. Let's take this text. We're going to be outside here. That should work. So now we have this button right at the bottom, and we can't press on it, right? We're going to actually rename these things, right? So if we go to the top, we have a leading. And right now we're not doing anything with that. We have a trailing. So if we check back this one, was it trailing we were using? Yeah, so if we have a trailing, we're going to display this icon. So the trailing is pretty much the icon, right? So I don't want to actually call that the trailing. That's if we want to overwrite it, right? Oh yeah, it's a null check. So if widget trailing is null, we're going to add this one to it. Don't actually care of what we're passing in. We always want a trailing. Let's do it for like this for now. We can focus on something else later. So the widget.is trailing, we are going to wrap all of this. Wrap all of this in inkwell. Maybe. I have no idea. I haven't tried. Can try it. On tap, and we're going to handle tap. If we try to press this, yeah, we can see that it's working, right? We're starting to get some kind of design going along, slow and steady. So git add, commit. So what have we done actually? We have created a base of custom expansion style. Base of custom expansion tile. Yeah. Yeah, right. We have to git push. That so we can actually push it up to the repository and clear. Okay, so what do we have more? Now we're going to create some custom design, right? We're going to pass in the title we are already passing in, and the title will actually be the widget title. We're going to remove some and some comments. We need them because we're going to make our own custom. Like that. So let's see. what we actually want inside here, right? We have the trailing, which is the icon. And I'm going to name this to icon button. So that is if we are going to use another icon, we can pass that in here. We have the title, which is required, right? The leading is not required. What is the leading? So right now we're trying to do this expansion tile, right? So what I actually gotten here is if we go to the history page, and if we would want to return a expansion tile, right? Expansion tile. We can do that. So expansion tile is a widget in the Flutter framework. So what expansion tile does is pretty much just display a list tile, which has a retractable for more information. We want to have that, but we want to have a more of a custom design of it. So what I actually did was I went into the expansion tile. Is copy the code inside here, and thanks for the subscription, Black Talkers. And we're going to create our custom one. So I actually just created a new class with all of that code, and I'm just editing it so it fits our application. So right now I haven't done much. So if I just scroll down, this is all the pasted code. And I just wrapped everything in a card, so they are cards instead of just normal containers. And instead of this list tile right here, we're using a column instead. If that makes any sense. So as you can see, it has a trailing, and we don't want it to be called trailing anymore. We want to be an icon. We can actually now remove all of this, so that doesn't confuse it anymore. Expansion says background color. And we have our button. We have the leading. So let's check what leading actually is placed. So as you can see, we're not actually using a leading at all. Wasn't that in? Yeah, we had that in the other one. So we're not using a leading here. So we can actually remove the leading. Don't want that specific in. If I go back to this one. We don't care about any like leading icon, right? We don't need that. So what we actually need though is this icon here. Maybe that would be a trailing instead. Maybe. We can add another icon for that. So for the leading, we can remove because we're not using it. Like that. And let's see, what are we going to do now? We have initially expanded, changed, and we go back here. So let's just hot restart and see if everything is working as we want to. To the history, and we can still expand them. So what we want to do now, when we before we expand them, we're going to, I used to bring this back. We're going to do some custom design for all of this, right? So after the title, we actually have a line drawn, and we're going to do so. If we go to our custom design here, we have our title. After the title, we want to have a line. And for now, we'll actually just ignore the lines. I'll just create the design, and then the lines can be added later. Nothing special. So we will just create first off the the title, which should be okay. Maybe we'll make it a bit bigger, so we add some subhead title, maybe. Make it a bit bigger, yes. So now it's a bit bigger, that should be okay. Maybe we'll make it also bold. So font. Can't we get the font weight? Yeah, font weight. And we can set that to bold. There we go. There we have a more representation of this. So as we are in a column, our next item. So let's see how we're going to do this. So this will actually be a row, right? And the first item of the row will be a column. Second, yeah. So a row and then a column inside. So here we are going to create a row with some chiller. So if we go back, we can see that first off we have these two items which will be residing in a column. And we have some things we can. So if I just save this, we can format it. So inside this column, we're actually going to, we can add that later actually. So if we would add two items now, so that would be two text widgets. The first one will say, we'll just move that here so I can write why I read it. Completed on 11 of 9, 2018. And then we have logged time 10 hours. And as these are normal text widgets, for now we can write const up here. Let's just see how that formats. And it formats really ugly because a column, I think at least, have that, maybe not. Yeah, so a column, columns cross-axis alignment actually defaults to center. And if we check the design again, I actually wanted to go to the left, or start from the left side, then finish into the middle. So we can set the cross-axis alignment. Cross-axis alignment, and I want to have it at the start. So that pushed it to the left, which is nice, yeah. And what we actually can do more, so I actually want this column to have some padding. Let's just see how that looks. Let's try and add some padding, see if it works. Yeah, it works nice. So we have some padding. And what were we going to do? We're going to add some stylings maybe to these two texts. So the style of this will be, we can close this down. Easier to read. We're going to take this same, I'm going to just take this, I think. And it can't be a constant anymore. And we're going to do the same on this one. We don't want them to be a title, maybe? Body? Body do. A body takes it to a size that we actually don't want, right? I want them to be a bit bigger, and I want them to be completely black. Maybe we don't want that. Maybe this looks nice. Maybe we should just switch paces on this too. I feel like the total log time should be a primary thing when you check on a task. Maybe that has a bigger effect. Yeah, that actually looks pretty neat. So maybe we should redesign this as we go, maybe. We can add some sized box here. Just add some spacing for. So we have that. So right now we have a column, right? So the columns is inside a row. So for the next item on the row will be an icon. Icon starts checkbox. Checkbox. Let's see what that icon actually is. So I really hope I have the icon for this. If I go to this one. Or is it just called a vector? Or is this? Do you guys have any idea what this icon actually is called? I've forgotten. I want to say checkmark. Maybe we can use something meanwhile, right? So right now we have that checkmark. And we're going to add some space in between them again. So we have main axis alignment. Space between, space evenly. Go back to line. So for me, this seems to be a space between. And then we're going to add or use the padding to fix these lines later. And then this one will have some extra padding to the right or margin to the right. So those small details can always add later. So the main axis alignment should be space between. And that should push this check mark over to the right side as it did. And let's just set the color also for this one. Color. We'll just set it to green for now. I really don't want the check mark. Word. Check. Maybe we can have a check circle. Yeah, let's have a check circle. That makes it a lot nicer. And this one is actually going to be a lot bigger actually. So what we can do is also call the size. Let's try something with 16. Which is actually less than what it actually is. What does I can actually default it to? So we have the size. Can we see that? It defaults to 24. Okay, so we're going to have a larger number than 24. That's something 28 maybe? Or 32? 34? They don't have no idea what to actually have. Oh, not 48. It looks pretty clean. 38 maybe. Yeah, 38 looks clean. Right now we have this expansion tile, right? It actually makes the icon and title blue. Maybe we don't want it blue later. Maybe probably use the primary color of the application instead. But that would work for now. So if we go back here now, we have some things that needs to be changed, right? So we have these two, but they also center in the middle. Should make it coherent and put it to the left, I think. That will also make it a bit easier to read. Will make it very repetitive though, but let's try it anyway. So where were we? So we had rotation. And inside the history, we're passing inside the widgets, which is inside the children. What about the line after the log time, 10 hours? For the text. Yeah, we'll add aligning afterwards. I'm just going to see if I can create the basic layout. Then it's very, very easy. I have a widget that I already created. See if we can find that. Close down all of this. Helpers. So I have my global widgets. And here's just a simple draw line container, which I can specify the width and everything. And I will use that to put just in between all of my text. So what we're actually going to do now is that I want to see if we can get this text to default to the left, right? So what is so this is for the log time. So where do we actually have the data that is then extended here? Is it this one maybe? Closed column. Let's try to do something in here. Maybe we can do something here. So let's set the main axis. We can try. Oh, it should be cross-axis alignment, I think. Start. Okay, so we have another thing. So a column will default its width to as small as possible. So we will actually set the vertical direction or don't remember if it was this one. And try. Oh, that one sets the height of the column. So what are we actually passing in? We're passing in some widgets in by this column. Somehow we need to get this text to the left. So don't remember actually how we're going to do that. Passing in the children takes a widgets list of children. That would be a so I guess we could add a align to this. So a align, maybe that will do what we want to. So as a, yeah, maybe, yeah. Extract with a new widget. We should actually get this to, wait, did I actually fix it? Oh, okay, yeah, the align takes up as much space as possible. So that makes it so this one actually gets enough space to be placed to the left. So that's why a align would work. But I actually want to make the column take up as much space on. For now we can just wrap them with a line, I think. Line. And we can put them to the left. So the alignment, we can add dot center left. Go, and the same for this one. There we go. Now we have this kind of more custom design, I guess. Ugly. And we're going to also have a title text. We could add a container, but a container also have. Don't want to say anything that I don't know about, but we can check. So a container actually has a lot of things we don't care about, while an align is for a specific purpose. So I try to I tend to use the widgets that's more designed for just that purpose of putting a widget and setting it aligned to something. We could add a container set the width to infinite, but as an align already takes up the full width, it seems. See. I think it defaults to setting the width at infinite. It just makes it a bit cleaner to write than setting a container. We could add I would actually add a container instead if in the end I would make some more design purposes. So for example, setting background and everything. But just for putting a text, for example, to the left, I would just add an align instead. We could also maybe do a size box. I don't know if this is what you should do though, but we can try. I have no idea if this works. Yeah, we can actually do it like that also. That should actually be more efficient. So this is pretty much the same thing that you were probably thinking of with a container, just that we're using a size box instead. And a size box is a bit more efficient than a container, as it only focuses on making a size box. So that works also, because we have the container to be setting the values to the left, right? So that works. Let's see, we want to have a lot of bigger icon there. Let's add that. So if we remove this just to show. Or did a column default that? Maybe? In cross-axis alignment. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe we can just have it like this then. We just needed to have the width, it seems. Yeah. Okay then. So let's set the size of the icon. So for the icon, we want to have a bigger icon. Size 24 was what was defaulted to, so let's try 32. Bit bigger. Let's make it huge so you don't miss it. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe we don't want to have padding at as much padding at the bottom as we have now, as the button itself already has padding. So we can go back up to our padding and we can set some specific padding. So from left to right. So for the left side, we will add 8. To the top, we'll add 8. To the right, we'll add 8. And to the bottom, we'll add 0. So now the bottom is more at the end of the card, which makes it a bit better. So right now we have this doesn't a icon have like a on tap or something? Because as I see it now, the icon, if you press on this icon, right, it has this weird square, right? And what I also see is that we don't care about anything that we pass in. So as this is from the, let's close this. So where the color comes from. So if we go back to the top, we can see that we have a, see where it is actually. Child. Saw it before. Where is it now? There we have the title color. So that would be header.value. So where is it actually setting the color from? So probably from let's just remove this for now. See if we can find where. Is this something? Is it another one? Oh. So let's see where we get the color from. I think that's passed to the title here somewhere. So for the animation, icon color, here it seems to be icon color twin. And we get icon color. And here we have the icon theme.merge. So I haven't actually used this, but I guess creates an icon theme that controls the color passed in size of a descendant widgets. Okay, so this takes the descendant widget of icons, and then we can change the color. So we have the data, which is the icon theme data, and we just set the color to depending on the value. So if we have expander or not. Let's see. Yeah. So, and for the text, we have the title color right here. So the next problem I see, or not a problem, but if we press on this button, we can see that it's a square size box or inkwell. And we actually want this to be a circle, so maybe we can add a container. Maybe. And we can add a shape to the container. Is it not shape? Or is it a decoration? Decoration box? Oh, it's not the decoration box. What does the decoration take? Decoration? Don't remember. So now I feel stupid. Box decoration is it? I think. Yeah, box decoration. So let's see what we have here. Do we have a shape? Yeah, we have a shape. So we can take the box shape circle, maybe? Maybe not. That's because we have it in a decoration here. Can we set the shape inside here instead? Radius? Is something? If we go to the inkwell, we can see that we have... We'll create an inkwell must have a border radius maybe. It's not this one. And we just see if we can set the color. If we can see something. Okay, so we have this circle, but the inkwell doesn't care about that. Maybe it's because we should have our inkwell inside this one. Let's remove this. And we... Well... It still has this square. So what do we actually want to do? Couldn't set the shape in the decoration. Because that's added later and the box is still the same size. Could we add... From the icon? Yeah, maybe it is. Material. Set the shape to check. I never remember this one. Hang. Rounded return border. This one requires something. Border radius. Circular. Yeah, maybe it's from... I don't actually know where it is. It's probably from the icon, but it shouldn't matter, should it? Don't want to be stuck on the same thing for too long. Maybe we'll just move on from it if I don't understand why it's coming from. So... what does the icon have? But I can have a size, it has a color. And the inkwell. The inkwell should be above, I think. Just icon size and check if the square gets small. Yeah, we can actually try that. So I think it will become smaller though. Anyway, let's just try this one first. So I will wrap this one with a inkwell instead. Bear with me now. I think I have a solution. So we'll remove this widget. We will set the decoration to box decoration. Yeah. Set the shape to circular. Okay, maybe that didn't work. God damn it. Okay, let's go with the. It will make the. Either way, it will make the thing smaller, I think. What we do, because the whole icon will be smaller. But that was a tricky one. Yeah, let's just add a to do here. To do. So what's to do? The inkwell is a square, but needs to be a circle. Like that. So that will be a future problem. So for the next thing we're going to do, the icon or the button, or the icon actually, if we go to the design again. So here we can see that it has some more space into this side, right? So that icon should be a bit more to the left, so we add some margin to it. We can see, not this one is the one we press on, which is this. And that would be, if we scroll up, I think it was. Or was it on this page? The completed log time. Oh, there it is. We have the icon here, so we will add a. Isn't like a margin. Margin. It's a padding widget, but not a margin. Let's just add a padding widget then. That will not make the same thing though. Let's add a container. And we can set some margin. And edge inserts, and we only want to do it on the right side of the icon. So we want this icon to be moved a bit to the left. Let's add an 8. That should be fine. So now let's see if we can go back to this one. So let's add some lines. Everybody love lines. So we have the title. And let's see what I named the draw line. Simple. Simple. So the draw line requires something. What does it require? Does it require anything? What does it default to? Have I defaulted to like 60? Yeah. So for the width, we are going while. So for the width, line height, line width is called to width. We're going to set double.infinity. Because I think that's what we did here, right? Yeah. That's what we did here. So first off, I will just add all of my lines, and then we should see if we're going to change this design on them. So we're going to add a line here. We're going to add a line after this one, if that looks. And it completely remove them. Why does it remove them? What? How does that make any sense? What if we remove this one? Wait a second, what? So But yeah, maybe that can be a problem. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's restart it. Oh, we're getting some errors. Hate not being in the in the console sometimes. So if we remove this, we should not see any errors as it renders. What do we actually get if we do this though? Something about we have infinite space or something, right? Okay, so the box forces an infinite width, yeah. Oh, that's because we're in a row. So we're inside a row and we're trying to make a draw line which is infinite. So how can we actually make this better? Do we actually have to specify a width? I don't actually want to specify a width as I want to make we'll fix that later. So we're going to set the width then. I don't actually know what the width will be. Try 250. I think that was a pretty accurate line right there. So, but the problem would be for the container and then the draw line. That would still be the same issue, I think. Because if we make the infinite width on a child of the container will also expand to the same size. And as that is inside a row, yeah, it will be the same problem. Because the container will then expand infinite to the row. But it doesn't actually matter because if we check on the design right here, I don't actually have a infinite inside this row, right? So this one is outside the row, and this one at the bottom is also outside the row. So we can actually just take this draw line and then put it at the end of the row, right? So at the end of the row, we add another line. Yeah. So we got another line there. So now we can think of adding some space in between them, so we can add some size boxes. And we can set the height of the size box to something like 4. Add this to a constant. And let's add some spacing, so maybe we can do the same on this one. And it should be there. And then for the title, we have a draw line. And we add some spacing. And if we check the design here, because maybe I just need some more spacing because this feels really, really cramped. So we have this spacing right here, which for us feels a bit weak. So we're going to add some spacing there. And we're going to make this one a bit larger. Oh, closed everything down. So we have this one. So what if we put 12 there? Yeah, so there we got a bit more space. And if we check the design again, we can see that I want quite a bit of spacing right here also. So that would be the same as here. So 12. If we go back to the row, we have a draw line. And we have this sizing right here. This one then. So we have the log time. It has this line. We have this one, which have a space in between the top of it, and there's the top of it. think we got pretty close to the design actually. We can set the elevation and the shape of this card to a bit different so we can get a better rounded shape. So inside this card, material need padding on right and left. One with minor free. Material need padding on right and left. What do you mean with material? Or did I have a material widget here? Or do you mean that I just need some more padding to the left and right side? You know, to add some shape here at least. So rounded rectangle, maybe. Border radius. Circular. Maybe we should 530. Oh, I don't want 30. I think we're using 10 everywhere in the application. So let's go to my I have the startup, quick film, no, not that one. This one. So can we set the shape of a card here? So it actually only has card color. Does it have? That doesn't make much sense. Can we only set a primary card color in the theme? Can't we actually define anything more specific? Oh well. Don't save that one. No, what actually? Okay, so we have the same rounded shape. So I should add some more padding to the left and right side then. This one. Well, maybe. Like this. Design is probably the one thing I'm really bad at. So let's see, what do we actually have? We have a scrollable list view, which will scroll everything. We could also set this to be its own column, right? And we could make everything here scrollable, or we could make a sliver app bar. But I'll try to keep everything as simple as possible because I'm not quite sure of how the design should look of right now. Gonna check. Yep. So if I go back to the design, we should see that we have pretty much the design we want. I've only changed one thing, which is this one. So the color of this icon is wrong also because I've set it to colors of green. And don't want that. We want to actually set it to the theme I have. Click it. Theme. Distance. To add that one. Primary color. Have a more of a green color. And for the expanding, I think we will actually remove this border side thing. So when we press let's add this to it for now. So we'll add it and call it working custom expansion tile. Expansion. Now we can clean this. Not clear? Clear. Clean. Okay, so we're actually setting the icon theme of icon color.value. and we're setting to the accent color. I would prefer to see the primary color. Oh, it's a stateful widget. Didn't matter, right? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, so now we get this green color instead. So what I don't want to have right now is that we can see, if I scroll in, as we have changed the design a bit, can't scroll in. What is this scrolling function? This is not the way to scroll in. Okay, but anyway, it's very hard to see, but it adds a border because this wasn't a card before. And we can see at the top and bottom of this card, it adds some kind of border, right? And we don't want to have that. So what we can see is, you can see where it comes from. So the border side color, it has a border side. Border side color. Don't care about that at all. We can still have it there in case I want to change this to not be cards anymore. But what I'm actually going to do is just comment this code out. All of that, this code. And we can go back. We cannot go back. We can restart. It's ignoring. We probably has to. Okay, never done that before. Well, exit it and restart it. So because we added or made our expansion tiles to cards, we are getting this line at the bottom. And that's because it had a border side color for the expansion tile. I will just comment them out for now though, because I don't actually know if I will use a card later. And this will just make it easier for me to refract it back again. I don't need that either. Go back in here. And we expand it. We can see that it no longer adds any border side, which is nice. Okay, so there we go. Got some more things. So let's save this thing, and we are going to just slam some widgets inside here. I just want to see how it looks. It looks pretty clean. Or clean. Can't completely make this better, but this is probably how I would make a expansion tile. There's no need for actually me creating one from the very ground up, as the Flutter team has already created a really good expansion tile, so it's no need for recreating it. And to be honest, I would make it probably shitty compared to them. So if we go back here, we can also see that we have a details. Oh shit, I'm sogging inside the chair now. So I also have a details header or title. Know if I want to have that. Maybe if it's easy, I can have that. So let's see when we let's close this one. So we expand it and we get the column, and the column has children. And that's the children we pass in, which is inside here. So we could add a text with a title. That should be in a size box also in this moment. Let's just fix this one. Yeah. So we can add a text which is just details. And we can add some styling. I have this, yes. Text. Can't I just take the same one that I had for build title right here? No need to rewrite it. And invalid const value, because we don't want this to be a const anymore, but we want this two to be consts. So there we should have a title or details, and this should be in the middle, so we don't actually need we need a, not a sized box, but a line. And I want the alignment to be center. There we have it, and we should add another size box to make the height be more appropriate. So we can also see that this array of children, this list should have some kind of padding, right? Should I add that inside here? If we go to the bottom, here we have the widget that will be built, which is a column. So maybe let's just add a padding. Add some. Yeah, I know. So we can set the padding to this will add padding to everything, right? So if I write 24, maybe it did what we actually wanted. Actually want to be a bit more specific, so I have a padding. So maybe I will do the same for this one. Maybe this will just complain because it's null then. Let's try that first. Yeah, it complained because it's null. We can do a const edge sets all and set the 0 of padding, because we don't want any padding when it's closed. But we want some padding to specific sides. Dots from left to right. We want it from the left side, maybe 8. Top can be 8 as well. Let's try 8 on all of them first, just to see. Maybe we can just add a all and put 8 here. Maybe that looks good enough. But this adds padding to the top. Yeah, that was thinking. So from left to right, 8088. There we go, because we don't want any padding to the top, we only want it to the left, right, and bottom. So this should be good enough. Clear this up, and we can rerun the page. page actually got a lot faster to create than I anticipated. So this expands now. Let's see. Compelted have I written? I have written that. Compelted. So let's see. So there we go. There we have the design basics for this page. Maybe we'll add some. Maybe we'll not have this title right here. Maybe this should be just a part of the app bar. It'll probably make this a bit more clean. So if we go to history page and build title, let's remove that or comment that out, and we take this and we go to the app bar instead and add a title. And this is a const. Yeah, that looks a lot better actually. So we can remove this build title. We can remove this spacing right there. And we can remove this one. And remove our build title. And border color is not used anymore. That will add an arrow here. There we go. Now we have our working design. Very, very ugly design maybe. Hopefully it works. That was all what I had planned actually for this stream. So for those that didn't follow from the last stream, maybe I can just show before we end the stream. So let's see, we can create a task. So let's say we are going to read Harry Potter. And we are going to select, it's Sunday today, right? Yeah. Add some more timing. Let's add 30 seconds. There we have our task. If we play it, I have added, so if we pause it, it should update everything that needs to be updated in the database. So if I would restart the application now, we would actually have the value again. And the tasks should be there. So what actually happens when you press play and pause is that it stores a log. So that's what we're going to use later in this history. These are actually the logs when we have completed a... But it's actually not these ones. But the logs are pretty much used when we start and end the task. And when we go to... If it would be completed, right? We set the status of it to complete. And that would be then added to the log time. So for now, all of the tasks we create are renewable. So this one will come the next Sunday also. So later I will also add a pop-up for asking if you want to continue with this task. To do app bar icon is a cross instead of a back button. Oh yeah. So what I don't actually know what the preferred way of doing it. I think what I've done is that if I go and navigate to a page, and if that page has ways to navigate to another page, that page will have a back button. But if you can't navigate to another page within it, as this page you can't navigate to somewhere else, I've just pressed or made it to a cross instead. Maybe that's just ugly. So for example, this should also, or this shouldn't be a cross because you can actually navigate to a pop-up dialog. But this one, yeah. If I create a task, for example, that will actually be a cross. But maybe it's just looks better with a back button. Maybe I can change that. What do you think? Should I have a back button or should I have a cross like that? I had that for the create page because you don't navigate somewhere else. It's very easy to fix. If we go to the simple button, it's this line here. So either we can have the cross or we can have a back button. You can do like this instead. Do. Yeah, no, it adds a back button, but we have a full screen dialog option. And if we use that, we get it. We get the cross instead. Isn't it preferred to have a cross if it's just a page that displays and you can't navigate to another place? Don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe we should look that up on the design maybe later. But I think this stream was pretty concise. Hopefully you learned something at least. So what I like to do is, instead of, for example, the create, I don't actually want the create to just be a dialog button or a dialog that pops up. I want to make it a full screen dialog, and that will make the cross appear. And I was thinking the same for the history. Yeah. Is it a dialogue though? I don't know. I will default it to true for now actually. And that could be changed later. Yeah, for the next live stream we're probably going to make, let's see if I can show that. This page, which will be a bit more complicated actually. It will be this overview page, which will have all the tasks for each week that we select. And we can then have a drop down for which day that we want to see, or all the days. And then we can see all the info and how much time we have spent on the task, and then we can navigate to the task and everything. So that will be fun to create and probably pretty hard. But it should be doable. Hopefully you learned something from the stream, at least. And as always, if you enjoy the stream and yeah, if you enjoyed the stream, hit a thumbs up. Write any questions you have in the comments, and I be sure to answer anything. I think I'm pretty active in all the videos I create to answer all the comments. If I miss something, it's just that I missed it. You can probably just write another comment and I will get a pop-up for that. But if you liked the video or the stream, put a like, subscribe to the channel. And also I have a Patreon linked in the description, which helps me quite a bit. We have 2 Patreons, but I can actually only see, for some reason I can only see one of them. Maybe a bug. But Ampersanda is a Patreon or Patreon pledger. What's the name for it? Maybe pledger. So I'm really appreciated for that, and all of you who are watching the stream. But yeah, I think we got everything to do here. So for the next stream, we'll probably look at overview week 51 and create this one. And I will also, of course, create tutorials also. But I will see you guys and have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for listening. Nice to have you fasting design with Flutter comment. Even though you could. Yeah, this design is very I can create it very fast with Flutter, but it's just to make it very easy for the stream to follow also. Some of the people that probably watch and not writing much get stuck on small things, and I want to make it as clear as possible. Thank you for dropping by the way, Christian and Jafar also. But I will see you also in another video or another stream. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas and have an awesome night. See ya.